In this video, I'm going to show you one of the easiest ways to instantly make your music sound more Christmas-like, and that is to simply add sleigh bells. Now, there's many different ways you can do this. Obviously, if you have your own sleigh bells, you can just record them live on your tracks, and if not, there's plenty of different options online for different sleigh bell samples and sleigh bell loops. I actually found a really great, cheap sleigh bell set on Amazon for under $25, so if you're interested in getting your own sleigh bell set, this is a 9-piece set. There's 3 of each of these 3 pieces here, so it gives you a little bit of different variety in sleigh bells if you want to record your own live, obviously, and I'll put a link to these down in the description if you're interested. I actually recorded a ton of different samples and loops with these sleigh bells, and I'm giving them all away for free to subscribers of my new weekly newsletter called Free Samples Friday. If you're interested in getting free samples every single Friday, go ahead and sign up with the link in the description. Before I sent these samples and loops out via Free Samples Friday though, I wanted to make sure that they actually work in the context of a real music production, so I came up with some musical examples to test them out, and let's jump into Logic and you can hear them for yourself. Here's the first example I came up with to test the sleigh bell loops. If you're a 90s kid like myself, you're probably going to recognize this. And I will say, when I first came up with this example, I wasn't planning on making a video, so it's a very quick, rough mock-up, so don't judge me too hard on my orchestration or mixing skills. Like I said, I just want to make sure that these sleigh bells actually sounded good in a real production. So let's just go ahead and listen once without the sleigh bells, and then I'll add them in. Alright, and now adding in the sleigh bells. Alright, now let's just listen to the sleigh bells once in isolation so you can hear what those really sound like on their own. Right, very, very simple, but as soon as you add those sleigh bells in, you can tell it just gives it, it really gives it that Christmas feel and that Christmas vibe. Just a really easy way to make your, music sound more Christmas-like. As you can see in this example, I'm actually layering 2 different sleigh bell loops together. So one is panned left, if I zoom out here you can see, and one panned right. I actually left these loops super dry, that way you can process them however you want. Now all 10 of these loops that are going out this week with Free Samples Friday are at 95 beats per minute. The reason I did that is it's just a really nice middle of the road tempo, so whether you need to speed them up or slow them down, I just figured 95 was a good BPM to fit as many different tempos as possible. That way people can, use them in whatever tempo their project is. And again, I left these super dry, that way you're not speeding up and slowing down reverb, and things can get really weird if you do that. So in this production, I actually did throw on some reverb and EQ'd them to kind of fit the mix a little bit better. Now let's look at the second example here quickly. I'm going to try and keep this video nice and short for you today. In this example, it's actually something that is not Christmas music. So one of my favorite bands growing up was this band called Explosions in the Sky. They're a post-rock band. They had the song called First Breath After Coma. It's one of my favorite songs of all time, but in the second half of that song, they actually bring in some sleigh bells, and yeah, anytime I hear sleigh bells, that's just one of the songs that I always think of. So like I said, it's not Christmas music, but as soon as the sleigh bells come in, it really gives it this like really beautiful wintry scene kind of feel. Like anytime I hear the song and the sleigh bells come in, it instantly just, paints a picture in my mind of this beautiful snowy day. And so that's kind of the context I wanted to also test the sleigh bells in, something that wasn't, overtly Christmas music, but something a little bit more post-rock, and just, yeah, it's one of my favorite uses of sleigh bells. So I came up with this really quick example. Again, I wasn't planning on making a video when I did this. I just really wanted to test these loops out before I sent them out to people. So once again, we'll listen without the sleigh bells quickly. All right, and now with the sleigh bells. All right, so as you can see, just by adding sleigh bells, it instantly just kind of puts it in a winter scene. So even if you're not doing, like I said, overtly Christmas music, if you want to add that sort of wintry, snowy day feel, adding sleigh bells is a really easy way to do that. So as you can see, I layered several different loops again for this one, added on some Valhalla vintage reverb and then some EQ filtering. And then I actually also made a battery instrument from last week's one-shots that went out with Free Samples Friday. So as you can see, I just loaded a bunch of one-shots here, and I'll let you hear what that sounds like in isolation. Okay, and then the loops that I layered together sound like this. And then with that battery instrument layered on top of the one-shots. So like I said, if you want these samples and loops for free, you can sign up for Free Samples Friday with the link in the description. Free Samples Friday is my weekly email newsletter where I send out free samples, as the name suggests, every single Friday, along with additional samples and bonus content and all sorts of stuff. So it's something I've been working on for a long time. I'm really excited about. And yeah, links in the description. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.